Welcome to Veterans Voice, where we highlight programs and services that support our veterans. I'm James Mabel. 2023 marks the 75th anniversary of the Women's Armed Services Integration Act. While women have made great strides in military service, they often face unique challenges as veterans. Camp Shield is working to meet those challenges. Founder and CEO Maggie Peterson joins us today. Welcome, Maggie.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Excellent. What are those unique challenges that women face after serving in the military?
Women face a lot of challenges after serving in the military. Personally, I served 10 years in the Air Force. And when a woman is in the military, you are very, very visible. So everything that you do is very looked upon. And when we transition out, we almost become the invisible veterans in the community. And there are fewer services that are available for us. We have many more unique needs than our male counterparts, and it's just a harder transition for many of us.
Well, thank you for that. And how did Camp Shield get its start here in Houston?
I started Camp Shield back in 2017 after kind of spending a few years in the veteran community, volunteering with many different organizations. And I had a friend from my hometown in northern Wisconsin that was really, really struggling with PTSD. And so I took it upon myself to look across the United States to find a program for her to go inpatient to heal and grow from her PTSD from her time in the Army. And I could not find any programs specifically for women veterans only. Many of the programs were for males and women, men and women together. And after doing that, I told myself, well, as much as I know it's going to be a lot of hard work, that I was going to start that program. And that's where Camp Shield was born back in July of 2017.
Wow, not too long ago. And what services do you provide the community?
Camp Shield currently provides peer support groups, which is our Wonder Woman Wednesdays. And we have those in person and virtually. We have people from all over the United States that join our virtual Wonder Woman Wednesdays. We also have virtual mastermind book clubs. We actually currently have 2 going on simultaneously. Again, women from all over the country join virtually. And we read a growth-focused book that can educate the women on how to apply the principles from that book into their lives. And then we have monthly workshops, and we like to alternate our workshops. So one month it might be something fun, like art therapy or, pottery, many different options. And sometimes it's me educating them on how to navigate and advocate for themselves at the VA, or something, teaching them about emotional intelligence, emotion regulation. We also have 2 different types of retreats. We have an equine retreat that is a 4-day retreat where we bring 10 women veterans to a ranch in Milano, Texas, and they spend 4 days learning about the horses and really getting that therapeutic effect from the horses that are there. And then we have what we call our She Thrives retreats, and those are where we bring 20 women veterans and 10 of their children, usually to a retreat facility that's like a kids' summer camp where they have outdoor activities that the women and the children can participate in. And we have different programming. So the kids have their own program, and we really like to focus on our children's programming on emotional intelligence and emotion regulation for those children. A lot of times the children of veterans struggle with secondary PTSD. And so we want to make sure that we're educating them and have really good programs for them to grow and heal as well. And then for the women, separate programming, we bring in a clinical psychologist that educates them on clinical healing modalities that are available to them in the community and at the VA. And then we also bring in some holistic health gurus that educate them on different healing modalities, alternative healing modalities like meditation and mindfulness and grounding, Reiki, all kinds of different alternatives. And we always have a licensed therapist available or on site for everything that we do. And we also always reimburse or provide childcare, because I know that for many of us, especially single parents, childcare is a barrier to entry into a lot of the programs that are offered. And then our longer term plan is to build our own retreat facility and to then expand that into a transitional housing community for women, veterans, and their children and families to come heal and grow.
Excellent. You obviously have plans to expand, and kudos to you for the programming that Camp Shield provides. And
Thank you.
tell us, how can the community get involved and support the programming and support the mission of Camp Shield?
Sure. So the community can get involved. Well, you can learn more about Camp Shield at www.campshield.org. We are also on all of the social media platforms. And we also have other events throughout the year. Like we just, in June, on June 10th, we had our Women Veteran Empowerment Expo. And in December, we'll have our Women Veterans Holiday Party. In September, Camp Shield is having it's called Hops and Vines. It's going to be our first big fundraiser. And those are some of the bigger events that we have throughout the year where we could definitely use volunteers to help us. We're always looking for volunteers that may want to lead a workshop or simply come out and help out with childcare at a retreat or at an event that we have. There's lots of different ways to learn more about us and to volunteer and get involved and refer their veteran friends to us.
Excellent. Maggie, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing about the mission of Camp Shield.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And when we return, we'll talk to the University of Houston about how they support our veterans.
What does moving forward look like? Houston Community College has hundreds of choices. Small class sizes and personalized support to help you do just that. Enroll today for spring classes and frame your future with HCC.
For more than a year, we have kept you informed with more than 500 remote episodes. But now we're back, bigger and better, with more news and more guests. Join us live every weekday at 10 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube, and on HCC TV at noon and 5 p.m. You can watch from anywhere. We go where you go.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But I get it, you're busy, and busy people can't have prediabetes. I read that wrong. They can, okay? Just go to the site.
Houston Community College partners with a wide range of employers who actively seek out veterans. University of Houston is one of those partners. We're joined by senior recruiter Franklin Martinez. Welcome, Franklin.
Hey, James. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. How can veterans translate their military experience to civilian experience or jobs in the civilian world?
Sure. So translating your military experience to civilian experience is an important step for veterans who are transitioning into the civilian job market. It's one of the most important steps. While your military experience may not directly match those civilian positions that you're applying for, it provides various transferable skills that you can highlight and communicate to a potential employer. If you already have a career field in mind that you might want to go into, I have a few tips that I'm going to go over just to make sure that you're marketing yourself correctly. The first tip is to make sure that you understand your own skills. Start by making a list of your skills such as leadership, mentorship, teamwork, adaptability, discipline, communication, and many, many others. You want to highlight your relevant experiences, right? Any leadership roles that you may have held, projects that you may have managed, and any relevant training or certificates that you also obtained. You want to translate that military jargon. You really want to use civilian-friendly language to describe your experiences and your accomplishments. If you were a squad leader, use team lead. If you're an NCO, use first line supervisor, and avoid using acronyms such as MOS, TAD, TDY, NCOIS, PCS, NAM, and so many other ones that are out there. Achievement medals are now achievement awards. MOS is now career specialty. Boot camp is now basic training. And for example, when I was in the Marine Corps, my MOS or occupational specialty was 6042 Emerald Asset Manager. even while I was in the Marine Corps, Marines would look at me and they'd be like, what is that? So if Marines don't even know what that was, I knew civilian employers weren't going to know either. So I used material manager or supply chain manager on my resume because that's really the civilian translation to my job. And so these are just a few things that you can do, but there are many, many, many other things that you can do as well.
Thank you for those updates. You know, those of us who've gotten out of the military maybe a few decades ago, or maybe aren't aware of those changes in the vernacular that's used to describe some of the acronyms, especially. So moving to the resume, how can you really make your resume stand out from a veteran standpoint?
Yeah, to make your resume stand out and highlight your skills and experiences that you gained while you're in the military, you want to start out by having a compelling summary statement at the top of your resume. This showcases who you are, your military background, key skills, and career goals that you may have. For each position or job that you held in the military, emphasize those transferable skills that you acquired that are relevant to that civilian job, such as project management, adaptability, critical thinking, and the others that I mentioned earlier. Use action-oriented language such as led, managed, coordinated, executed, or achieved. For example, if you were in maintenance, you can say executed 2,000 man-hours of maintenance on 4 aircraft over a period of 1 year supporting 300 flight hours. You want to list your achievements and back them up with metrics or data. If you were a supply chain manager or supply specialist where you manage inventories or budgets, list out the monetary figures. For example, managed a budget of X amount of dollars, eliminating a deficit of X amount of dollars over a period of 2 fiscal years. Include any military certificates, trainings. If you had your A+ certification, if you're in IT, A+ certification, Security Plus, Network Plus, and you obtain them in the military, put them on your resume. And you want to tailor your resume to the job that you're applying for. If you're a field radio operator in the military and you're applying for an inventory specialist, but you only provide details about relaying casualty evacuations over the radio, chances are you may not get considered. But if you include additional duties that you had as a field radio operator, such as conducting weekly inventories of communication equipment, you might be considered. And finally, one last point that I want to make is that make sure that your resume is easy to read, meaning the font, the formatting is reader friendly. Recruiters have hundreds of applications that they're reviewing on a weekly basis because of this, the average that a recruiter spends on a resume is 1 to 2 minutes. And so most recruiters won't spend that extra 2 minutes figuring out if you meet the minimum qualifications or not. That's why it's important that you make sure that you pay attention and grab their attention with your resume.
Excellent. And speaking of the resume, getting us to the interview, what is important about networking and mentoring? We understand that getting the resume uploaded into an applicant tracking system is one step, but the power of networking and mentorship, can you talk about that?
Yeah, networking and mentorship is crucial for military veterans navigating the civilian job market. Attending job fairs and networking with recruiters gives you access to a wide range of job opportunities. These personal connections can significantly increase your chances of finding suitable gainful employment. If a company you'd like to work for has a veteran liaison, connect with them and learn more about the company and find out what it takes to join the company. Find someone or a mentor who successfully transitioned out of the military into a civilian career and see if they can guide you through it. A mentor who can offer career advice on resume writing, interview techniques, career readiness, advancement paths. Like I have friends and former supervisors that are transitioning out that call me for advice from time to time. If I'm not able to assist, I'll find people that can assist them. And that's all it is to networking.
You're exactly right. And speaking of networking, we hear of people connecting on social media all the time and learning new things, new trends in the job market. Speaking of that, LinkedIn, is LinkedIn still relevant to the job search today?
Absolutely. For most career fields like IT, business, human resource, LinkedIn is an important tool to use. You can network with recruiters, other veterans, apply or conduct research on potential jobs, even take professional and personal development courses through LinkedIn Learning. I was able to land my current position here at the university through LinkedIn and networks that I made through LinkedIn. LinkedIn also provides veterans a 1-year paid subscription to LinkedIn Premium, which gives you access to LinkedIn Learning, and it allows you to see metrics and data to see how you measure up against the other candidates that are applying to the same jobs that you're applying to.
Excellent feedback and tips, Franklin. Are there other resources that veterans should be aware of when they're conducting their job search?
Absolutely. There's just so much to this topic. I can go on for days, and I'm willing to connect with anyone that would like to know more about the resources that are out there. I would like to spotlight a few organizations for veterans. The first being 4Block. 4Block is a nonprofit organization that offers veterans career readiness programs. I think everybody remembers when they were transitioning out, they did a transition readiness seminar that was just a check in the box. Well, this program that 4Block offers is what that should be, or what that strives to be. The program connects you with Fortune 500 companies, allowing you to network, and also teaches you how to craft a resume, different interview techniques, job offer negotiations, and much, much more. Another organization that's local here to Houston is the Combined Arms. They're a local nonprofit that just put on a hiring event and information event. They put on hiring and information events at Workforce Solutions across town. They recently had an event showcasing Amazon. And finally, what I want to touch up on it is the VA. We're very, very fortunate to have a VA medical center here in Houston, as well as a regional office. Use the resources provided by the VA. If you will have a disability rating, look into the Veterans Readiness Employment Program. If found to be qualified, they can help you find gainful employment.
Okay, Franklin, thank you so much for your tips and suggestions for veterans and Simplify.
Simplify. Thank you for having me. Have a good one.
When we return, we'll learn more about the PACT Act.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
911, where is your emergency?
Welcome back to Veterans Voice. The Houston VA helps veterans connect with a wide range of services to improve their health and well-being. Today, we're joined by Brent Kratky, Chief Experience Officer at the Houston VA, to learn about the PACT Act. Brent, welcome to the show.
Hi, James. Thanks for having me today.
Yes, sir. So, expanded healthcare and benefits available to veterans via the VA PACT Act. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so quite a bit to explain here. I'll try to be brief, but the PACT Act is essentially one of the biggest expansions of benefits in VA's history. So we really want all veterans to listen up, to be engaged, to tell other veterans about this. So this dates back to last August when the president signed into legislation a new law that recognized 20 new presumptive conditions. These are healthcare conditions that are now related and linked to toxic exposures of those that served. So this includes things like Agent Orange, burn pit exposures, and many more. So this new law called the PACT Act ensures that these millions of toxic exposed veterans living with these conditions and their survivors get the benefits that they earned and that our country owes to them. So in addition to just increasing benefits, though, alone, this also expands healthcare eligibility. And a lot of veterans miss this in the fine print. But so especially combat veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan, they have a special window open now to come to VA to sign up and enroll in healthcare. This window is time sensitive. It's going to close September 30th. So we're asking veterans to get what's called a toxic exposure screening. Come to VA. We can do that screening for you to see if they may have a service-connected toxic exposure there that can increase their benefits, and also to call and see if they were not previously eligible for enrollment to see if they can be enrolled for healthcare.
Excellent. And this is leading to veterans visiting the Michael DeBakey VA Medical Center here in Houston. Can you kind of share the veteran experience at the DeBakey Center?
Yeah, absolutely. So Veterans Experience is really something that's kind of new in the last, I'd say 7 to 10 years, just a more intentional focus across government, but especially here at VA. So when we talk about Veterans Experience, our goal is to have a easy, consistent, predictable healthcare experience for our veterans, right? And so we're really excited about what some of the survey data is showing us here in the last few years, some progress we've made in that area.
Just like the veteran experience, the employee experience at the DeBakey Center, what can an employee expect at the DeBakey Center?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll double back a little bit on the veterans experience here as well. And they're all linked together. So the employee experience, employees are our greatest asset here at VA. And when I get to talk to our new employees every couple of weeks, we talk about the veterans experience, but it starts with them. So we want to be the employer of choice here in the medical center and across the Houston area for healthcare. When we attract the best talent, when we support our employees, when they have what they need to do their job, when they're connected to the mission, right? And we have the greatest mission in government here at VA, serving those that have borne the battle. There's no greater mission on the planet, we believe. And so when employees are connected to that mission, they have what they need, they are going to make this the best veterans experience for all of our patients, all our veterans and their family members and their caregivers. So veterans experience, back to that for a second. We have a lot of surveys. And so I always encourage veterans that get their health care at the VA to take those surveys. I know you guys get a lot in your inboxes and your mailboxes. We appreciate that. But we do read every single one of them. We actually, one of our main surveys that we look at is called Veteran Signals, and it goes to veterans by email predominantly. We get about 2,500 of these surveys back every month from veterans. So it's a huge survey volume. We get back in about 1,000 veterans leave us comments that we can respond to. One of the main questions that we ask veterans in that survey at the end of every survey is, do you trust the Michael DeBakey VA Medical Center to meet your healthcare needs, right? And we're looking for veterans to agree with that. That's kind of like our North Star to see how we're doing over time. And we're really proud to say that as of right now, this month, 87.5% of veterans are in agreement with that statement. And this has been our highest score here locally since the survey started back in 2017. So we are seeing some hard data, some great feedback from veterans that we're making strides in improving the coordination of care, the veterans experience for all of our healthcare services here at the Houston VA. We're really proud of that. We have a lot of initiatives that come out of that survey data from veterans, right? So a few things that we're doing is we have a lot of digital services that have rolled out, right? So this is like online scheduling. We have a great VA healthcare app and benefit app, which has over 86,000 ratings on Apple iOS, 4.8 stars on that app. So that is a game changer. I always tell veterans about My Healthy Vet. They can go there to refill prescriptions, track appointments, communicate directly with their healthcare team, and they normally get a response within 24 hours. So those types of services are really a game changer for veterans. Of course, we're always working with our providers and staff to focus on communication with our veterans, connecting with them, finding out what really matters to them, listening to them, and not just talking about their symptoms, why they came in for that day, right? Having a deep connection with them. When we do that, we get the best survey scores when we take time to truly listen and meet those veterans' healthcare needs that day. So I know I said a lot there. Again, it does begin with our employees. And so we're really focused on that here at Michael DeBakey. We have 6,000 employees. And we're really proud that 30% of them are veterans, and that number is growing every 2 weeks as we bring some new employees on board. But we also realize that burnout is real in this day and age, especially in healthcare. And so one resource I'd like to share to all the veterans watching the show, all of our employees as well, We have a special app called OM Practice. That's OM Practice. I think you guys will have the link up here on the screen, but it's a free subscription. It's whole health focused, so it's a wellness app with just hundreds of classes on demand, yoga, back care, Pilates, Qigong, meditation, you name it. That's really helpful. I find it personally helpful to kind of break away when I'm off of work, to recharge and get refreshed so I can come back and be my best the next day serving veterans. So big focus on whole health here, not just for veterans, but also for our employees here at Michael DeBakey.
Brent, thank you so much for sharing about all the excellent work that's taking place at the DeBakey Center and at the Houston VA. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for helping get the word out on the PACT Act.
Thank you. If you'd like more information on any of the organizations and services you've seen on the program today, visit our website at hccs.edu/VeteransVoice. An audio version of this show is available on Apple Podcasts. Just search for the HCC TV Podcast Network and then hit the subscribe button. For everyone here at HCC TV, thank you for joining us on Veterans Voice.
If a natural disaster shows up at your doorstep, you can't just turn it away. That's why it's important to prepare for emergencies before they show up. Go to ready.gov/plan to find the tools and tips you need. And make a plan today.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
Your blood pressure numbers could change your life. Lowering them could save you from having a stroke. If you've stopped your treatment plan, restart it or talk to your doctor about creating one that works better for you. Start taking the right steps at manageyourbp.org.
Now I'm, trying to get better, stronger than ever.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
It's really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.